In the spring of 2011, a small regional hospital quietly changed one line in its internal protocol. Pediatric patients arriving without guardians were no longer to be listed as unaccompanied. They were to be marked as unclaimed. The change went unnoticed. Over the next 3 years, nurses began to notice a pattern. Children arrived late at night, often alone, often silent. No identification, no emergency contacts, no missing person reports matched them. They were clean, well-fed, calm, too calm. Doctors ran routine exams. No signs of abuse, no malnutrition, no trauma that could explain why they never asked for parents, never cried, never asked to leave. When questioned, the children answered politely, always with the same phrases. They said this was the right place. They told me to wait. They said someone would come, but no one ever did. Social services were notified. Paperwork was filed. Shelters were contacted. Nothing connected. It was as if these children did not exist anywhere outside the hospital walls. Then one night, a nurse broke protocol. She followed a child who had been discharged earlier than expected. The boy did not leave through the front entrance. He walked calmly down a service corridor, through a door marked "Staff Only," and into a maintenance stairwell that led underground. Security footage later showed something disturbing. The boy was not alone. Others joined him. Children from previous weeks, months, all moving with the same steady pace, all descending together. The nurse followed until the stairwell ended at a locked steel door. Behind it, there was sound. Not crying, not screaming, a rhythmic mechanical noise like breathing filtered through metal. The nurse reported everything. The footage disappeared the next day. The stairwell was sealed for structural reasons. And the protocol was updated again. Now, pediatric patients arriving alone are discharged within hours, marked as transferred, to where the system does not say. But hospitals across the region still receive calls at night from parents asking if anyone has seen their child. And the answer is always the same. No record found. At 2:17 a.m., the emergency dispatch center received a call that should not have gone through. The number had been inactive for over 9 years. The caller did not scream. He did not whisper. His voice was calm, professional, and slightly out of breath, like someone trying to stay composed during a crisis. He reported a multi-vehicle accident on Highway 6 near mile marker 113. He described smoke, overturned cars, and at least 2 injured adults. His details were precise. Weather conditions, traffic flow, even the smell of burning rubber. The dispatcher hesitated. That stretch of road had been permanently closed after a landslide killed 12 people nearly a decade earlier. No signal coverage. No access. Still, protocol required action. Police units were sent. Fire services followed. As responders moved closer to the coordinates, the caller remained on the line. He corrected small mistakes, updated injury counts, described movements before they happened. At one point, the dispatcher asked how he knew so much. There was a pause. Then the caller said, "Because I'm still here." The line went silent. When emergency vehicles reached the location, they found no accident, no cars, no smoke, no people, only crushed asphalt and rusted wreckage half buried in mud, matching the exact configuration of the crash that happened 9 years earlier. In the center of the site lay an old emergency phone snapped off at the base. Back at dispatch, the call log was reviewed. The audio file existed. The timestamp was correct. The caller's ID was confirmed. It belonged to a paramedic who died at that exact location, trapped in his vehicle, radio crushed, unable to reach anyone. His final report was never recorded until tonight. Since then, similar calls have been reported. Always after midnight. Always from disconnected numbers. Always describing emergencies that already happened. Dispatchers are now instructed never to ask questions, only to listen.
For more than 40 years, the town of Carswell published the same population number. No increase, no decrease. It was not a secret, but no one questioned it either. Carswell was small, isolated, and unimportant, a place people passed through, not stayed in. According to official records, no one had died there since 1981. Hospitals reported 0 fatalities. Police files contained no death certificates. Cemeteries showed no new graves. Journalists occasionally noticed the anomaly, but the explanation was always administrative error. Old systems, poor archiving, nothing worth investigating. Until a wildfire passed dangerously close to the town. Emergency teams were sent in. Evacuation lists were prepared. Names were counted. The number did not match. More than 200 residents existed physically, but did not exist on paper. They had driver's licenses. They paid taxes. They had families. But in every national database, they were marked as inactive, as if they were already dead. A government auditor was sent to Carswell to resolve the discrepancy. He arrived on a Monday. By Wednesday, he stopped answering calls. Security footage from the local motel showed him leaving his room at 2:17 a.m., fully dressed, carrying all his belongings. He walked calmly down the street toward the old municipal building. The cameras cut out before he reached the door. Inside the building, investigators later found rooms filled with filing cabinets. Every drawer contained the same form: name, date of birth, cause of death, all dated decades earlier. But the faces in the attached photographs were familiar. They belonged to the people still living in Carswell: neighbors, shop owners, children. The final cabinet was labeled with the current year. It was empty, except for one form: the auditor's name, time of death, 2:18 a.m., cause of death, recorded. To this day, Carswell's population number has not changed, and officially, no one has died there.